this is just a little video that talks about uh, a phenomenon in terms of wealth and spending. So let me break this down. Let me open this up. Here we go. Let me see.
Here are five
Let me know if you can hear this. I'm gonna turn this up. Let me know if you can hear this video. Give me a yes when I play it. Here it goes.
things you didn't know about engagement rings that will shock you. First, the average engagement ring costs 3 months of salary, and most people can't afford it. 73% of rings are bought on credit, starting relationships with instant debt. Second, many couples begin marriage $8,000 in debt just from the proposal alone. That sparkling symbol of love becomes their first financial burden together. Third, ring debt increases divorce probability by 30%. The very thing meant to represent forever love creates the stress that tears couples apart. Fourth, couples who spend over $3,000 on engagement rings are more likely to divorce within 5 years. The bigger the ring, the bigger the risk of failure. Fifth, here's the most twisted irony of all. The symbol designed to represent eternal commitment often becomes the first crack in a relationship's foundation. Love starts with debt, and debt destroys love. The ring that was supposed to bind them together becomes the weight that pulls them apart. Here are 5 things you
All right. So if you want to watch that video, share it or comment on it, you can actually go to Dr. Boyce or at Dr. Boyce Finance, and so basically, don't worry about the visuals. And I know there was some like mixed couples in there, whatever. Just who cares? Anyway, so here's the thing: the thing about engagement rings that you got to understand is that that actually what's interesting is that there are millions of people. My wife would probably have a lot to say about this. There are lots of people who are caught up in the idea of getting married, but don't have any interest in what's required to be married. And one of the things that they find in these studies is that when people have financial problems and the cash flow is screwed up and the economics is off, it'll highly increase the probability of divorce. Financial insecurity creates a lot of stress, trauma, and anxiety. And it's really hard. I mean, marriage is already stressful enough. And then you got like all this pressure coming from the bills on top of that. That's really a lot. That's a lot to manage. And the fact that people take kind of a do-it-yourself approach, like I'm just going to figure it out, that makes it even worse, right? They don't want to get a therapist and read a book on how to actually be married and stay married. And that right there is a massive wealth loss because wealth is very um, wealth is killed in a bad relationship. Also, marriage and family and all that. That's the biggest investment that you ever make. There's no investment that you'll ever make more than that you'll ever make that's more impactful than who you choose to be with and spend your time with. So ultimately, when I think uh, about the marriage process, I think that what happens is that that's a consciousness issue where your desire for the dopamine driven instant gratification, like, the fact that she's gorgeous and or he's a doctor and or you get to have the big wedding day, that causes you to make a lot of long-term commitments that you're not quite ready for. And so when you get to the reality of fulfilling those commitments, like paying interest on a credit card for the next 20 years because you had a one big beautiful day. Like if we had one big beautiful bill, we got one big beautiful day, and you end up with one big beautiful bill that results from that day. It's crazy. In fact, are studies also that show that a lot of people that get divorced are still trying to pay off the wedding. Like, right? So really, that's something to kind of think about in terms of consciousness is, that just that piece about who you choose to spend your time with. I think that that's a really important part of your economic development. I would encourage you to really think that through as you make your decisions.